there will be spoilers from Maul Shadow Lord. If you've not watched the show or you've not watched the season yet, I recommend you do so before checking out this video. Maul Shadow Lord is a really great show. Put it simply like that. It's just a really great show, and it's the first time in animation where we see a more serialized show in animation, because this Maul Shadow Lord takes a lot from live action shows where they have previously on segments. It's just a straight story that's split up into 10 episodes, but the difference being that in this, it works very, very well, and I really appreciate it, because it feels like an actual world being set up and created, rather than it being a elongated movie that a lot of other live action shows fall into in that trap. But Shadow Lord does not, and it works so well. Every episode, for the most part, ends where you expect it to end, and it picks up right where it left off. But that's not distracting, because, well, since the entire season is out, you can just keep watching if you want, or if you can stop. Like, it's your choice. And that's so cool, because each episode ends in a satisfying way. Now let's get into the actual show now. So, of course, Maul Shadow Lord has Maul as the main character. The main premise is that Maul is creating his own criminal underworld in order to take down Palpatine and the Empire. And at the same time, you have a new Jedi character named Devin, who's the apprentice of Master Daki, which both are aliens, which I think is really cool. That only in animation you can have two main Jedi characters being both aliens, which is really cool. And at the same time, you have Captain Lawson, who's like this cop who's trying to take down Maul. And for the first half of the show, it goes what you expect. Maul's trying to turn Devin to the dark side, Maul's trying to create his underworld, take down the Empire, and Captain Lawson's trying to take down Maul because he's a criminal and he's the cops trying to take him down. That's the case for the first 4 episodes. But in episode 5, the Empire gets brought in, and that's when things completely change for the better. Not to say the first 4 episodes are bad, because they're not. They're very interesting, very, very cool, very action-packed, and the first 4 episodes feel very, very much like Batman. Like the city of Janix, or the planet Janix, feel like Gotham. That's the whole point. There's many similarities to the Gotham movies from the Christopher Nolan Batman films. Very, very similar to that. And that was the end of the first 4 episodes. Now, when you get to when the Empire shows up, it just becomes a full-on chase. It's just really, really the heroes are just on their backs the entire time. It's so cool. That's what the case was. The heroes don't really have much of an escape until they get to a rescue ship by the Crimson Dawn at the very end of the show, or the season. So that's the only relief. But for episode 5, for the majority of episode 10, you're just like, holy crap, this is just so much action, so much chaos, so much dread. You know who's gonna die. So many characters from the main group of characters, whether it be the main group of characters or even Maul's sort of lackeys, most of them get taken out. And I'm like, that's insane. That's crazy. And the way they go out, it's not like in a blaze of glory. No, they just die from normal things. I'm like, that's so crazy. And it's like, wow, that's really cool that they can just do that. And it works, because the show is way more serious in tone. It's not a freaking oh, we're gonna save the day. No, it's like they're running from death. At any point, anyone can die, and that's something that they really honed in on, and it is executed very, very well. And there's many moments where some characters you're like, yeah, they're not gonna die. Freaking Captain Lawson's Joy Two Boots, he's not gonna die. He's a comic relief character. He's not gonna die. I mean, Devin's not gonna die. Maul's not gonna die. But when it comes to everyone else, it's up in the air. You don't really know until the very end, until they get into that ship, which is really cool. One thing I do want to cover is that this show actually got renewed for a second season before the first episode even premiered, which I'm not surprised at that, and I kind of figured that, what I expect the show is going to be, at least for season 1, it's the origin story of how Maul and Devin are going to, team up and try to take on the Empire. And I was exactly correct, as the entire time, Devin's Master Daki needed to die. And I was expecting, he was something that was 100% going to die, and him dying to Vader, yeah, that makes sense. And because that's a motivation for Devin to, turn to the dark side. Very, very, comic trope, and that's something that, the show can do that, because it's very clear to people who made the show and writers the same way, where they give fans what they want. They tread common grounds of story beats I've seen in other projects in this franchise. At the same time, do things unexpectedly. And that's what the show does best, where I figured from the very start, from the second they said season 2 was announced, and when I first watched like episode 4, because Doki's been injured for like most of this show, and once he did get injured, when he fought Maul for the first time, I'm like, he's gonna die at some point. And yeah, I was correct. That's what I figured. The path that the show's gonna take, I figured that out really early on. That didn't stop me from like not liking the show, because it's really great. But like I can figure that out very early on, because that's kind of how it's supposed to go. And yeah, for season 2, well, I'm guessing that it's gonna be more like, here's Maul training Devon in the dark side without Doki, without any good side interference. Here's Maul training her in these lessons that, that shouldn't really be taught to a young Jedi. Maybe that shouldn't be the case, but she doesn't know that, and we'll see where that turns out. Because like I'm interested. I'm invested. And I think a lot of people are as well. With all that being said, where does Maul Shadow Lord go in my rankings? Maul Shadow Lord Season 1 goes above Jedi Survivor, but below Andor Season 1. Now, to make things really clear here, just because I have it above Jedi Survivor and placed here, that doesn't mean that Survivor or the other placements are worse than Shadow Lord. No, they're all equal, because in this area in my rankings, I kind of just put all the good projects I personally like here, and I really don't have like I can't really put one over another, but I kind of have to, so they're all equal in my opinion. But that's the show. I really enjoy, like I said, I really enjoy Maul Shadow Lord. I think it's a really great show, and I try not to spoil too much, but I feel like I did spoil a lot. So, but if you haven't checked the show out, if you're interested, go check it out. It's really great. But I'm gonna end things here. If you guys enjoy, hit the like button, subscribe, and go now. So, goodbye everyone.